Whether it's cleaning windows, getting up into the loft, or even changing a light bulb, a ladder can be really helpful when it comes to accessing hard-to-reach areas of our homes.
Sometimes that calls for a really long ladder. Now, I've been looking for a ladder that can fit inside my work van, and then I came across this style, which is a telescopic ladder. It can extend to up to 5 meters, but when folded away, can fit in virtually any space. The appeal is obvious.
But according to the Ladder Association, customers who buy a telescopic ladder from an online platform like Amazon or eBay are twice as likely to have an accident as those who have bought one from a DIY store. Electrician Geoffrey Bogerman purchased a 5-metre telescopic ladder from Amazon's online marketplace for £130.
Well, I was using the ladder to get access to a fire detector, and my apprentice secured the ladder with his foot, and suddenly I felt the ladder falling under my feet and just falling backward. And then I didn't know what was broken because the pain was everywhere. And I asked my apprentice to call the emergency service.
So did it collapse on itself, or did it buckle, or how did it break?
At the time I didn't know what happened, really, but after I discovered that it bent, literally bent under my feet.
Geoffrey fell from a height of 4.5 metres. At hospital, X-rays revealed he had fractured a rib along with other injuries.
I'm lucky. I'm here. Compared to what could have been minor injuries, really, and I don't want this to happen to anyone else.
Geoffrey complained to Amazon and it agreed to remove the product from sale, but Geoffrey says the ladder is still available to buy.
Amazon said they will remove the product and investigate. The reseller is still on Amazon, selling the exact same ladder, but under another reference.
Wow.
Now, there are strict safety standard telescopic ladders like this should comply to, like EN131, which means the ladders have been tested to hold 225 kilograms. Lots of the telescopic ladders on Amazon claim to meet that, but Peter Bennett, Executive Director of the Ladder Association, says this is being abused.
We see it on a fairly regular basis, particularly telescopic ladders. They'll claim that they meet EN131, and very often it turns out that there has been no testing done. They don't meet the requirements of the standard at all.
Peter and his team, along with the trading standards, recently purchased 17 different ladders from online marketplaces and tested them to EN131 standards and found 80% of them failed.
When we subject them to testing, it's clear that they don't perform to those standards. They fail, and they fail in use, and that really is very concerning, because obviously if you're at height on that and it fails, then you've got big problems.
To get an understanding of what these tests involve, I'm meeting John Darby at the Test and Research Centre near Cambridge. Today, John is testing 3 telescopic ladders purchased through Amazon and eBay to see if they meet the EN131 standard. The sellers of all 3 ladders have included a reference to meeting this safety standard in their listing.
The standard contains about 15 to 20 different tests, and this one here is the strength test in the position of use. So the ladder's set up at 65 degrees at its full extension, and the non-professional load here is about 225 kilograms.
That's over 30 stone that it should be able to accommodate.
Yeah, and that's to allow for if someone is, say, 110, 120 kilograms, plus they've got tools or materials, they're climbing the ladder. You want the thing to be strong enough to withstand all of that dynamic loading.
John increases the weight onto the ladder gradually.
Yeah, so that's the amount of bend that you get with just someone standing on it.
Wow. So if you were going really high up, it's getting really close to the wall there. I wouldn't feel safe on that.
No, and I think that's where if you read a lot of the reviews online, you'll get some that say, well, it felt a bit bouncy, felt a bit flexible, but it was okay. That's what we're talking about.
And as the weight is increased, the first ladder fails the test.
So that style in there, it can't take any more load, it's just folded.
The ladder buckled at 186 kilograms. On to the next one.
I can hear it flexing already. Wow.
Failed.
That's catastrophic.
Under the weight, this one snapped at 170 kilograms. And finally, ladder number 3.
So here the style's just crumpled in on itself again, the style's just not strong enough to support that weight.
All 3 ladders failed to meet the maximum load of 225 kilograms, the final one breaking at 200 kilograms. Peter believes that consumers need to be more aware of the risks and that platforms selling these ladders need to take more accountability.
There's a perception amongst consumers that if it's advertised on a well-known branded online marketplace, it must be safe. It's sad to say from the research we've done that is not the case, and the online marketplaces do not have and do not feel very much responsibility to verify these things.
When shopping for a ladder, look out for the EN131 mark, which implies that it's past the relevant standard, although, as we've seen today, this is not always the case. If you see a CE mark, however, this is a clear red flag, as ladders are not covered by the CE mark scheme. In fact, it's illegal to use a fake CE mark on a product. Peter says to avoid the risk, he advises buying a ladder from a physical shop.
There's a distinct advantage in buying from a bricks and mortar company because they're there. And if something goes wrong, you can go back to them and you can basically claim some redress.
If someone has a telescopic ladder that they think is, of unsound quality, what should they do?
If you have already purchased a ladder and if you have any concerns at all, you can report it via the Ladder Association's website. We in turn will pass that on to the training standards.
With all the options out there, it's incredibly important to be confident in the ladder you're buying.
You can buy a safe telescopic ladder, but do your research. You may have to pay a little bit more, but it's better than taking a risk.
I've got that ladder.